everyone. I'm Meghna, founder of Let's Curate, a curator platform that celebrates and empowers independent artisans. Welcome to another episode of our webcast series. Today, we have another special guest. It's Sarah Butcher, an artist and art educator from Maryland, USA. Sarah has been teaching studio art, photography, and digital art for the past 20 years. A believer of exploring different techniques and processes, she offers a variety of experiences, events, and workshops while also creating art and artisan jewelry. Sarah, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I want to kind of begin by kind of getting a sense of your artistic journey because you delve in a range of medium. How did you begin and how do you approach art as of now?
Well, I've always been interested in art, since elementary school and high school, and I majored in art in college. It's just always been what I wanted to do. When you have a passion for something. So it's always been part of my life. My family was, kind of artistic. My mother was very much into like home decor and always seeing what she was doing. My dad, he was an artist. I think if he could have been, that would have been his career. But, he was just someone that was always interested in art. So just watching them, that really rubbed off on me. So it's just been something I have always enjoyed doing and looking at and, thinking about, what's the next composition? It's always on my mind. So.
Most artists tend to kind of lean towards a particular stylist, maybe not throughout, but, in phases, they kind of fall in love with a certain technique and then they completely, kind of immerse themselves in that. Then they maybe move on to something else. Tell us about what your preference and your kind of signature favorite style is.
Well, I would have to, describe myself as a very eclectic artist. And being an art teacher, I'm always exposing myself to different art techniques. I have taught photography, darkroom photography, digital photography, alternative processes, so when I'm teaching that and, we're doing cyanotype, so I'm really into that. I teach middle school art. So I, lend my, that can be kind of like artisan kind of thing. So I feel like, sometimes I have difficulty focusing on one style or whatever, but I think I always go back to like the things that are behind me, this Art Nouveau, this very illustrative, colorful, sometimes mixed with typographic design. I think that's kind of like my core, what I like to do. Sometimes it could be expressed like with the figure and other times it might come out in a cityscape, but it's always kind of that line and color. That is, I think, the core of what I do. And, if you're an artist yourself, or if you've talked to a lot of artists, that there's something always that kind of resonates with you, that you may experiment with a lot of things, but always come back to that one thing that you love. So yeah, for me, I would have to say, using line and color, and always, just exploring composition and what is going to make something visually interesting. So I'm always trying to do that in my work.
So when you're kind of thinking about, the composition, do you have, again, I guess it depends on the phase that you're in or the kind of media that you're focusing on. But in terms of materials, some people just love chalk. Some people love watercolors. What is your go-to material when you begin thinking of an idea?
Well, I do a lot of digital work. So sometimes it is first on the iPad. First I will go to like Procreate or, Adobe Fresco and start experimenting digitally. If I'm doing something on paper or something with traditional tools, I tend to go to these oil pastels or these water soluble pastels because I tend to, not that I want to rush, but I'm always kind of in a hurry to see what's happening. And sometimes mixing paint with oils and acrylic can take a long time. And the materials that these pieces were done with, you can get the color on quickly and blend color right on the paper. And then once you have something going on, you can add water with a brush and then start blending more. So I kind of like that immediacy of being able to blend color right on the surface. So that seems to really work for me. And it's the same with the digital tools because they're so immediate, and there's so many ways you can, quickly change design. So I guess I would have to say maybe I'm a little impatient sometimes.
It's interesting because you seem to be very comfortable as well as happy with digital as well as traditional materials, which is kind of rare in an artist because most people kind of want to focus on one thing and that's their style. So, but it's interesting to see someone kind of doing a little bit of everything and kind of dabbling, and I'm sure it leads to some very interesting results, right?
Yeah, because I think one thing about me is I really like to experiment. Whereas like some artists, like, okay, I like to do watercolor, they know what they're doing, and that's all they do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I really envy that because it's like you look at their body of work and it's like it really hangs together well. And sometimes with me, it's like, okay, you're doing this, and now I see you've done, like the digital paint pour kind of thing. Like when it's like something like this, and then all of a sudden it's like that. So I try to at least make myself do a series, of, at least 4 or 5 of something so that it is, more of a statement. And I know a long time ago when I was reaching out to galleries, that's one thing they told me. They said, well, you've got great work, but everything is so different. So I think if there's one thing I would like to try to do would be to continue to do, and that's why I started doing the Art Nouveau pieces, because it's like, maybe I'm not always like copying something that's always been done. Maybe this is a jumping off point, and then I'm going to do this style of work, but it's a landscape, or it's a it's a portrait of someone. So yeah, I think that's probably one of my little bit of struggles.
But it's interesting to see this, and we've had many artists and artisans who come and showcase their work with us. Formal art agencies, for example, like galleries, it's supposed to be about creative freedom and kind of letting the art flow and the creator kind of express them in their own unique way. And I kind of somewhat disagree with what the galleries, because they have a very strict framework. And that to me seems ironic because as an artist, I completely understand where you're coming from. There are days when you want to focus on something, you're feeling a certain mood, you want to work with a certain material. And that's what at Let's Curate, we want to kind of, I wanted to create this platform to educate just like you and make people aware that an artist does not, most artists don't like getting pigeonholed. And
right.
They may change their style, they may change their material, they may do ceramics once and digital photography like you're doing next. But everyone will find something that they connect with personally. So I actually personally do like it when artists experiment just like you do, because then I get to see a different facet of your own style, your personality, which to me is actually more exciting. And I feel a lot of lay people are silenced for, lack of a different word, to kind of say, oh, I like this, but I also like photography and I also like watercolors. And,
right.
and people feel a bit embarrassed, or I think they feel intimidated to say that. So it's refreshing to hear you as an artist say that, what, I kind of jump from this and then I do this. And art is art. It comes out in whatever form that you want to explore.
Right.
And I think that message should be reinforced among buyers as well as people who create, because I don't think there needs to be a certain kind of framework or rules associated with this. So it's very refreshing to see you, kind of own that and kind of follow that path as you're going along. I'm very happy to hear that, actually.
Yeah, and last night, as a matter of fact, I was watching 60 Minutes, and they had an author on, I can't remember his name now, but he wrote the book The Underground Railroad, and they were talking about different books that he wrote, and the interviewer was saying something about, well, you do so many different things, and he's like, well, I'm a writer. That's what I do. And I thought the same, but yeah, I'm an artist. That's
Yes.
what I do, so
Exactly.
I like to do a lot of different things.
Everyone needs to see, we're not one person, we're different people within one. So, art can be explored in different formats by the same person, and you may find different kinds of audiences for different kinds of style. And I think that really needs to be celebrated because, I think to kind of put an art style in one corner and say this style, this style, this style is just it's not a win-win situation for anyone. So this is so exciting that you're kind of really following a different kind of path when it comes to your own style of art. Tell us about some of your favorite works. I know you work with, you do journals, you make jewelry, even within paintings, you have different styles. Tell us about, some of your favorites.
I have a couple of things. I don't know if you want to see it, but now this used to be framed, but now this is an older one. And when you asked that question, I didn't know if you were talking about like artists that I like or my art. So it's kind of thinking about my art, but you talk about artists that I like as well. But so this is what I was thinking about too. I don't know if you can see this.
Yes,
but so this is oil pastel. Mm-hmm. And but maybe if I put it.
Yes, this is better.
It's hard to see the whole thing because it is really big. But this is one that, and it was framed at one time, and the frame broke. I took it out. But I really like this piece because my mom and dad had come to visit me, and we didn't live far away, but they're both deceased now, which probably makes it so special. But she brought me this bouquet of hydrangeas from her garden, and in that beautiful red vase as well. So I put it on the table, and I think it might have been like, that afternoon or whatever, I just whipped this thing out. I mean, I just sat there and did it right there on the dining room table. And so it's always been like a very meaningful, and I felt like it was a very successful oil pastel. And I tend to like to work large. I like to, like this size and this size tends to be what I like to do. So that is a really special piece that I did. What else do I have here? I'll show you, this is another one that's kind of big. And so this kind of takes, into account like the different styles that I have. I don't know if you can see that okay. Is it a little bit angled?
No, I can see it. It's gorgeous.
Okay.
I love it. It's like, is it the sun? I mean, what is the glow in the back? Is it the sun rising or the setting?
This is from a photograph I took on my iPhone.
Wow.
And I was on a retreat with my, it was the 6th grade that I teach. I teach middle school. So we went to Genesee Valley, which was a really cool, like, kind of outdoor farm, environmental, area where you can do like a rope bridge. They do all the kind of challenges and stuff. But it was in September, and the cornfields we were walking by, I just thought, oh, that's really cool. So it's really, if you see the photograph, it's kind of a regular looking image of cornfields. And what I will do is I will use different digital apps. Mm-hmm. So the first app I put the photograph in is called Prisma, which is something you may have heard of because they have different ways to change the colors. Mm-hmm. And after I put it in Prisma, that's what changed it. That's what changed the sky to be yellow like that. So it's very like Wolfcon looking, complementary colors. Then the next thing I did was I put it in an app called Paint Can, and you can do very, brush stroke looking, filters on it. So it's really easy to do. And the thing I think that makes this so cool is the way I had it printed. The printer I use, they will actually put varnish on it. So it looks very much like a real painting. I don't know if you can see it, but the varnish they put on it makes it look like it's actually paint.
Wonderful.
So that's another one that I think was pretty successful, and I like that one a lot.
So beautiful. And again, different styles and different ways of making art. It's I like the way you mix the traditional and the contemporary by using digital tools, because there are also many artists, and that's their style. They stick with the traditional. They're a little wary of modern tools, and there's again that image that, if you're doing digital, is that real art? Are you a real artist? And I think it's time to break those myths, because art is art, and it resonates with different people differently. So it doesn't matter if you're using a device, it doesn't matter if you're using a brush. The end result is what creates magic. That's so interesting to look at through your work. Can you tell us a little bit, are you currently working on something? We would love a teaser.
I am working on this series, and I do have a couple more that I am getting ready to. So like this is a drawing that I'm going to be doing the same technique. So you should be seeing a few more of this style painting, or I guess it's a painting, pastel painting. So I would say that is what I'm really currently
focused on.
That's my focus. But also, of course, being the here, there, and everywhere artist, my daughter was in the basement here, so I'm in my basement. So she moved upstairs. I took over that space. So I'm in the middle of putting together my studio, and I have a big table, and I can't wait. And probably when I finish up here, I'm going to do some like paint pouring, so try to get do this kind of thing, only real, only for real. I do love the glitzy gold and glitter. So that is something, to look for. I'll probably have some paint pour because I have the space to do it. And it's nice too. Everything has to be recorded, right? And now they want everything, everybody's to push is live, do it live. So I'm going to try to have that space where maybe I can do a live, it's a little intimidating, but I think, as an artist, if I want to continue to put my work out there, I think you got to go with the trend.
Absolutely. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see. It sounds like an explosion of something.
It's gonna be,
vibrant. Literally and hypothetically and figuratively. So that sounds very, very thrilling. So Sarah, as we wind down the interview, I just wanted to kind of get a sense from you. Most artists want to convey something through their art. Is this a particular message, or is there some kind of thought that's always underlying all your work, whether you do it, in digital format or photography? What would you say is your message to people looking at your work?
I would think the work that I have now, it's really about beautifying your space. I feel like with, I think the art that you put on your walls, it makes that space feel more human, and there's more warmth in the space. Because if I ever take my pictures off the wall, it just really feels very sterile. So I think it's just about beautifying your environment. And the other thing I will say is, unfortunately, some of the things that I would like to say in my work, and I do have some work that I really don't show. And if there was an opportunity at some point to have, a show somewhere, my message can be, because, and here again, what I'm saying, you might want to just cut it all out. But because I teach in a Catholic school, in a Catholic environment, I have been raised Catholic and went 12 years of Catholic school, I'm very disillusioned with the Catholic Church. And I do have some work that kind of addresses the issues of that. But since I work in a Catholic church, a Catholic school, I really can't say, you know what I mean? So I do have that element of my work that I cannot share.
You can share, but you can paint and, depict it through your art, I guess,
Yeah, but I can't put it on Instagram,
yeah,
because it would be something that people would probably say, this goes against,
Right.
So,
Okay.
But I think that for the most part, I do like to create beautiful work, work that people can look at and enjoy, and just give that, emotional, human, warmth to spaces. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Note, I thank you so much, Sarah. What a wonderful discussion this has been. I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yeah.
See your work, see your point of view. And, this for me is the success for Let's Curate, kind of connecting you with someone watching this may completely, understand and kind of connect with you in a manner which I cannot, describe. And I'm so happy to be able to showcase talent like yours on my platform. So thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
We wish you much, much success. And we're so excited to see all the work that's coming out, especially, the explosion one that we're so excited about.
Yeah, I'll definitely tag you in it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. This was our pleasure completely. We will be posting this webcast on our YouTube channel and social media channels very soon, so stay tuned. And for more updates, of course, follow us on Instagram at lets_curate. Have a wonderful day, Sarah, and we hope to have you back very soon.